Hello once again. This is your professor, Danny Araneta Cabulay, for the course Tourism Entrepreneurship. We're still continuing our lecture on how to develop a plantilla. What are the steps in developing a plantilla? Well, there are basically 5 steps. Number 1, you need to identify the key functions and departments. Number 2, you need to formulate the table of organization, which you already did. Okay? Number 3, identify the efficient staffing per position. Number 4, you identify the level of each position. If this is a staff level or a supervisory level or a managerial level. Because that will determine eventually the salary that you're going to place. Okay? Then you make the necessary adjustments. So remember the 5 steps in developing a plantilla. Okay? Now, how do you develop the salary scale? First, check out current labor laws, particularly the minimum wage law in your area. In Metro Manila, it's usually higher than provincial rates. Mas mababa ang minimum wage law sa mga probinsya. But for major cities like Cebu and the regions like Calabarzon, pareho lang siya ng Metro Manila. So, also check out the salary given by your competitors. Kasi para mas maging competitive ang compensation package mo, you can attract quality applicants for each position. You need to check out ano ba yung pinapasweldo ng ibang mga similar businesses in your area. Okay? Then you identify the level of each position. Kung ito ay staff level, gagawa ka ng range. Okay? So pag staff level, ang pasweldo mo ay 15,000 to 18,000. Tapos kung ang level naman niya ay supervisory, so supervisors will probably be paid somewhere between 19,000 pesos a month up to let's say 24,000 pesos a month. And finally, kung managerial position yan, so the possible range could be somewhere between 25,000 pesos and above. Okay? So, importante ma-identify natin yung level kasi that will determine the compensation package. So, decide on the compensation package positioning. So, gagawa ka ng salary range na tinatawag. Okay? Then you assign the basic salary range from minimum to maximum for each position. Okay? Now, you need to develop a 5-year projection. First, gagawa ka muna ng projected pro forma payroll for year 1. So, yung basic salary plus benefits. Check out the accompanying Excel file for the Tribu Maharlika Hotel that I sent you before. Extend the projection to 5 years considering the potential salary increases in the future. So try to be conservative but realistic. Then you make room for increases in plantilla kasi kung minsan tataas ang number of employees mo and then make the necessary adjustments. Okay? Those are the steps in developing a 5-year projection. Now, you need to enumerate the HR policies and procedure. So you base it on the 4 key functions identified essential HR policies and procedure. Anchor all HR policies and procedures on the company's mission, vision, and core values. So there are many kinds of HR policies, no? So just look them up. Maybe policy on attendance, policy on tardiness, policy on uniform, health and safety, etc. So it's up to you to enumerate those policies and describe them briefly in 1 sentence. So let us now proceed to pop question number 13. Most employers, particularly in the tourism industry, provide service charge as part of their benefits to their employees. So, for example, kakain ka sa isang restaurant, tapos yung total bill ng table ninyo ay 5,000 pesos kasi yun yung halaga, total ng halaga ng mga pagkain in order ninyo. Usually, they add 10% in tax. So halimbawa, 5,000 yung total bill, they add 10%. So that's 500 pesos. They call it service charge because of the service given to you by the waiters and the cooks. Okay? So, yung service charge na yun, yung 500 pesos, para lang sa table nyo, Malaking bagay na yon para sa mga empleyado. So cumulatively, for the whole month, lahat ng service charge na nakolekta sa lahat ng mga customers, iniipon-ipon yan ng accounting department. So let's say, in 1 month, nagkaroon ng service charge collection na, let's say, 500,000 pesos. Okay? 500,000 pesos or 500,000, malaki yun. So sabihin natin na there are 10 employees, sabihin natin na there are 50 employees in the restaurant. Malaking restaurant na pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So, 500,000 divided by 50 employees kasi morning and afternoon shift. Okay? So, that's roughly around 10,000 pesos. That means every employee in that restaurant gets a service charge pay of 10,000 pesos in addition to their basic salary and benefits. Okay? So, napakagandang benefit ng service charge kasi lumalaki ang take-home pay ng isang empleyado. Sa mga hotels at restaurants, typically makakakita tayo sa bill natin ng service charge. Yun po ang essence nun. Dagdag sweldo yan sa mga empleyado. So, ang tanong ko, gusto nyo bang magkaroon ng ganyan sa inyong business na you provide that benefit to your employees? Do you think it would be practical to have service charge as part of your employees' benefits in your proposed business venture? Gusto nyo ba yung negosyong itatayo nyo, meron service charge ang mga employees nyo? Explain your answer in 2 to 3 sentences, whether you agree or disagree, and then explain your answer. Okay? Deadline for posting your answer is May 20. That's Friday. For task number 4, I want you to prepare a projected payroll for your proposed business venture for 1 year. And then prepare a separate projected payroll for 1 to 5 years. Write 1 to 2 paragraphs to discuss the highlights of your projected payroll. Deadline of submission is May 20, Friday. Okay? So I'm going to give you now another goodbye word in French. Okay? Well, there are 2 ways to say it. Au revoir or adieu. So you say goodbye, au revoir, or adieu. Both would also mean goodbye. So the thought for the day, we need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. Not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. That is a quotation from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a human rights advocate. Especially after the last elections, it's been brutally cruel and disheartening. I think this is what kind of leaders we need. Did we get it right? Did we elect the right people? Au revoir. Adieu.